The House of Whispers. The abandoned house on Elm Street had been vacant for years, shrouded in a chilling aura that kept curious onlookers at bay. Legend had it that strange whispers could be heard emanating from its decaying walls, warning people to stay away. Yet, one daring group of teenagers decided to venture inside, fueled by their thirst for adventure and the thrill of the unknown. As they stepped through the creaky doorway, an unsettling silence enveloped them. The air seemed heavy with a presence they couldn't quite comprehend. The whispers grew louder, seeming to emanate from the very walls around them. Unease gnawed at their hearts, but curiosity kept them moving deeper into the house. As they explored each room, the whispers turned into eerie laughter, and the temperature plummeted. One by one, the teens started to disappear, drawn into hidden corners and shadowy alcoves. Panic gripped the remaining ones as they desperately tried to escape, but the house seemed to shift its layout, trapping them within its malevolent grasp. Fear consumed them as the whispers took on sinister tones, promising horrors beyond their imagination. They tried to communicate with each other, but their voices were drowned out by the haunting sounds that surrounded them. The walls seemed to close in, suffocating their sense of safety and sanity. With every passing moment, the house seemed to come alive, its malevolence feeding off their terror. They stumbled upon a room adorned with unsettling symbols, which they recognized from old tales of dark rituals. The realization that they had stumbled into something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined gripped their hearts like icy talons. As the night wore on, the remaining teenagers were reduced to huddled figures, trembling and waiting for the morning light to save them from the horrors within. When dawn finally broke, the house fell silent, as if it had absorbed their fear and vanished into the shadows once more, leaving behind nothing but a chilling memory. The Mirror's Curse. Tucked away on a forgotten street was an abandoned house that held a cursed mirror. The locals believed that gazing into the mirror would show one's deepest fears and darkest secrets, ultimately driving the viewer to madness. Despite the warnings, a daring urban explorer named Alex couldn't resist the allure of the cursed mirror. With a camera in hand, Alex entered the dusty, decrepit house and found the dreaded mirror concealed in an upstairs room. Hesitant but determined, Alex gazed into the mirror. At first, the reflection appeared normal, but as time passed, it started to twist and contort into grotesque images of horror. Alex's heart raced, and a sense of dread crept over them as the mirror seemed to reveal their deepest regrets and fears. Frantic to escape the mirror's clutches, Alex tried to turn away, but their reflection held them captive, refusing to let go. As the night wore on, the line between reality and the mirror's dark world blurred, and Alex struggled to break free from the mirror's malevolent grasp. Within the mirror's depths, Alex saw the distorted faces of malevolent spirits trapped within its cursed confines for eternity. The mirror seemed to feed off their fear, growing stronger with every terrified gasp. Desperate to escape the house and its cursed mirror, Alex tried to shatter the reflection with a heavy object. But with each strike, the mirror only laughed menacingly, its glass remaining unscathed. The spirits within the mirror seemed to mock Alex's attempts, driving them to the brink of the haunting melody. An abandoned house on the outskirts of town had been off limits for decades, its tragic history etched into the memories of the locals. The tale spoke of a gifted musician named Gabriel, who had once lived there. Consumed by sorrow after his fiancée's untimely death, he played a haunting melody on his violin every night until he vanished without a trace. A group of college students, enamored by the legend, decided to spend a night in the abandoned house. They carried with them a violin, hoping to evoke the spirit of Gabriel and witness the chilling serenade firsthand. As the midnight hour approached, they gathered in the grand hall, the dilapidated piano and dusty chandelier adding to the eerie ambience. One of the students began playing a mournful tune on the violin, imitating the melody of the long-lost musician. At first, nothing happened, and they laughed off the legend as a mere fairy tale. But then, a soft violin response echoed through the empty house. The melody grew louder, filling the air with haunting beauty. It was as if Gabriel himself had returned to play his mournful symphony for his lost love. The students soon realized they were not alone. Shadowy figures appeared on the edge of their vision, swaying to the melancholic tune. The haunting melody turned into a crescendo of terror as the apparitions drew closer, reaching out with ghostly fingers towards the musicians. Fear clutched the students' hearts, and they tried to flee, but an unseen force seemed to keep them rooted in place, as if the music itself had ensnared them. The melody intensified, filling their minds with haunting images of love and loss, drawing them deeper into Gabriel's tragic tale. In the darkest hour before dawn, the haunting melody finally subsided, and the spirits retreated into the shadows once more. The students, shaken and trembling, left the abandoned house, forever haunted by the ghostly serenade they had witnessed. The ghostly apparitions. High on a desolate hill stood the once grand mansion of the Hartfield family, now a crumbling shell of its former glory. Locals spoke of haunting apparitions that could be seen wandering the property on moonlit nights. The curious and the foolhardy often trespassed to witness these spectral sightings firsthand. A group of thrill seekers, eager to capture evidence of the paranormal, set up their cameras and voice recorders within the decaying walls of the mansion. They believed they were prepared for any encounter that might come their way. However, as the night progressed, the temperature dropped drastically and the atmosphere thickened with an ominous presence. Cameras malfunctioned, voices echoed in empty rooms, and inexplicable cold spots left the investigators trembling. Then, out of the darkness, shadowy figures emerged, dancing in the corners of their vision. The apparitions seemed to feed on their fear, drawing nearer with every terrified heartbeat. As the investigators tried to make sense of what they were experiencing, whispers echoed through the air, carrying fragments of forgotten memories. Visions of the Hartfield family's tragic demise played out before their eyes, like ethereal echoes trapped in time. One investigator, daring to confront the apparitions, called out to them, seeking answers. In response, the figures turned their hollow gazes toward him, their faces distorted and twisted in agony. The investigator was overwhelmed by a sense of overwhelming grief and despair, as if he were feeling the emotions of the spirits themselves. As the night wore on, the investigators found themselves ensnared in the mansion's tragic history. They witnessed visions of the past, reliving the heartache and sorrow that had befallen the Hartfield family. The line between the living and the dead blurred, and the spirits seemed to merge with their own existence, creating a haunting and surreal experience that they would never forget. The House of Forgotten Souls. In a forgotten corner of town, hidden amidst overgrown foliage, stood an eerie, dilapidated house known as the House of Forgotten Souls. Its dark silhouette loomed over the neighborhood like a brooding specter, and whispers of tragedy and despair surrounded its haunting legacy. Local rumors told the story of a reclusive family who once lived there, the Van der Lindens, and the tragic fate that befell them. The family's only son, Daniel, had mysteriously vanished one night, and his disappearance remained unsolved, leaving the Van der Lindens shattered and grief-stricken. After the tragedy, the house was abandoned, cursed by the sorrow that had consumed its former inhabitants. A group of curious teenagers, seeking adventure on moonlit night, decided to explore the abandoned house. Armed with flashlights and brimming with bravado, they approached the imposing structure, unaware of the malevolent energy that lurked within. The moment they crossed the threshold, an oppressive atmosphere enveloped them, and an unsettling chill seemed to permeate their bones. The creaking floorboards and the faint sound of whispers added to their sense of unease, but they pressed on, determined to uncover the secrets of the Van der Lindens. In the heart of the house, they stumbled upon a room that seemed frozen in time, filled with dusty furniture and faded photographs. The portraits depicted the once happy family, their smiles belying the tragedy that awaited them. Among the images, a single photograph of Daniel stood out, his eyes holding a sorrowful plea from beyond the veil of time. As the teenagers continued their exploration, they felt a growing sense of being watched. Shadows flickered in their peripheral vision, and footsteps echoed from empty hallways. Fear gripped their hearts, and they questioned the wisdom of their decision to venture into the House of Lost Souls. In one corner of the attic, they discovered a collection of forgotten possessions, each carrying the weight of sorrow and regret. An old diary, its pages yellowed with age, revealed the heartache that had plagued the van der Lindens. As they read, the words seemed to echo in their minds, bringing the family's despair to life. The more they delved into the house's history, the more the spirits of the van der Lindens seemed to awaken. Visions of the family's last moments played before their eyes, and they experienced the anguish that had consumed them. Their emotions intertwined with those of the forgotten souls, leaving them feeling haunted by a grief not their own. In the depths of the night, the house's malevolent presence became overwhelming. Doors slammed shut on their own, and eerie whispers filled the air. The teenagers realized they had unwittingly become entangled in the tragic tale of the van der Lindens, and the house seemed intent on trapping them within its sorrowful embrace. Driven by fear and desperation, they made a frantic attempt to escape the clutches of the haunted house. The once familiar exit had vanished, replaced by an ever-shifting labyrinth of darkened corridors. Their flashlights flickered, and shadows seemed to reach out, as if eager to claim them as new additions to the house's collection of forgotten souls. With every corner turned and every hallway explored, the house seemed to play cruel tricks on their minds, warping their perceptions of reality. Fearful of becoming another tragic chapter in the house's history, they fought to retain their sanity and find a way out. As the first rays of dawn peeked through the cracked windows, they stumbled upon the exit. Running out of the cursed house, they felt the oppressive weight of sorrow and despair lift from their shoulders. Their hearts pounded with both relief and lingering unease, knowing that the House of Forgotten Souls would forever haunt their memories, a chilling reminder of the tragic tale that awaited those who dared to tread its forsaken halls.